led airstrikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen are seeing ever greater numbers of civilian casualties, with reports saying the death toll goes beyond 500, including many children. Meanwhile, the UN now says some 100,000 people have been displaced by the entire conflict. Well, as Yemen is being dragged deeper into chaos, many foreigners are still trapped there. Among them, up to 4,000 Americans who are caught in the middle of the raging fighting in Yemen. But even after weeks of turmoil, Washington says it doesn't have a rescue plan in place for its citizens. We've heard from some Americans who've been describing their dire situation.
I am stuck, like you could say, I'm in the middle of Yemen. There's like a 5-hour drive from here to Sanaa. And there is no transportation, there is no gas here. We can't even go anywhere. We keep hearing the roaring sounds of the aircraft, especially at night, gunfire during the day. We are stuck here. We heard about the Russian rescue mission, but I'm trapped in the middle of the country. I can't go to Sanaa.
And there's no electricity, we have no gas. They're bombing by the seaport in Aden. And I also heard that it's a long travel and, you know, it's difficult for children or elderly people.
Meanwhile, dozens of Americans and scores of other foreigners have been taken to safety on board a Russian ship and a number of planes. US Secretary of State John Kerry has already thanked Moscow for getting Americans out of Yemen. Paula Sleer was on board one Russian aircraft who's with those fleeing the conflict zone.
What do you think about the fact that the Americans are not sending their own planes to help evacuate American citizens like yourself?
We felt like we're left behind, no support. I called every embassy. I called the embassy in Riyadh, in Cairo, in Djibouti to help me and my family, but they always apologize and they said help is coming, but never came.
Why do you think the Americans made that decision?
People now in Yemen think that the Yemeni Americans are it's like second-class Americans.
This is Sanaa. Things are quiet on first impressions here at the airport, but on the other side of that wall, a humanitarian crisis is unfolding. Well, as you can see, this is the airport terminal. The bags are packed up behind me and everything is quite well organized here. People have already had their passports processed and everybody's already on the buses waiting to be taken to the planes.
It's so difficult. We can't understand what really happened.
What is the situation like in Yemen?
Too bad. Really too bad. Every day wire boom boom in every place. You don't know you're gonna sleep, wake up, or you're gonna die.
There's just been an explosion that you can see behind me. It's coming from just behind the airport. It's now given a sense of urgency to people here. We are now on the return journey. 150 passengers on this plane, 150 on the other one. It's been a successful 10-hour operation so far. And while there's relief here, there's concern for friends and family left behind. Paula Sleer, RT, over Yemen.
And also concerns are growing among rights groups representing Arab Americans, condemning Washington's failure to evacuate its citizens from Yemen. The rights groups, along with individuals stranded in the country, have served a lawsuit against the US government and specific US officials, including John Kerry, Ashton Carter and even President Obama. State Department officials were questioned over the lack of a rescue plan in Yemen, and this was their response.
For more than 15 years, the State Department has been advising U.S. citizens to defer travel to Yemen, and we've been advising those U.S. citizens who are in Yemen to depart.
We have encouraged all U.S. citizens to shelter in secure locations until they're able to depart safely.
When you said that you alerted them to opportunities to leave the country,
Correct.
What are those opportunities now? Like swim? Well, come on. I mean, the airports are closed. How are they going to get
So the one that we sent out on
Go to Aden, jump in the water? What?
Constant bombardments and fighting in Yemen has caused critical shortages of food and fuel. Journalist Mohammed Al-Attab has been speaking to locals about the growing humanitarian crisis.
أنا أول واحد متضرر من الأزمة هذه تمام. أولا قبل كل شيء متضرر على الأزمة هذه لأنه أنا بيت إيجار وسيارة معي إجرة لها 3 أيام هنا واقفة تمام.
يوم 4 أيام صرفنا الذي كان معنا دبة بترول ولم حصلنا حتى على نص دبة. فالمنطقة هذه ما نستطيع نعيش ما بيش بترول، يعني دبة ولا دبتين بترول يشتغل باليوم الأول اليوم الثاني بعدين يقطع عليك البترول.
السيارة لها واقفة أسبوع يعني وإحنا يعني شاقين على أسرة بالسيارة الجرة. 2 أخوة في مصر كمل العلاج من أول ما بدأ القصف لحد الآن ومحانبين ما قدرش يجوا لها هنا وقد
بيخلوها زحمة هكذا ما بدوش المواطنين. الصبح يقولوا لك لا جينا الصبح يقولوا تعالوا العصر نجي العصر يقولوا جو الصبح.
Well, Saudi Arabia and its allies have vowed to continue the operation until the rebels are crushed and Yemen's exiled president is back in power. But so far, civilians have borne the brunt of the conflict. We heard from Tom Porteous from Human Rights Watch.
What is the obligation of those who are taking part in this conflict is that they should allow unimpeded access of humanitarian aid to those civilians who need it. Medical supplies, food, and so on. This is a conflict that has already created large numbers of displaced people and large numbers who are fleeing the country. The situation must be very bad in Yemen when people are fleeing from Yemen to Somalia, which is one of the, and has long been one of the most unstable countries in the world. For many years, Somalis fled for safety to Yemen. Now it's the other way around.